Why it don't make sense?
You just go, I just out the blue.
Yeah. You smell good.
You're a weirdo.
I'm not a weirdo. I'm not.
You're such a weirdo.
I'm not.
You just, we be talking and you just go.
Yeah. You do it to me sometime.
No, I don't.
Well, you just say you smell good.
No, that's when you put on cologne. But I just never just haul off and just sniff you, Fred.
Oh. Okay.
But you proud of it.
What? Shoot.
You're Brandy Gardner. How you doing? Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Tasha Wilson.
I didn't.
You did it just
I
then.
did not.
I'm gonna tell. Tian Treadwell. Hey, baby. Lynn.
It's been a long day.
It's been a very long day. We're not getting over the fact that I'm gonna tell.
Tell it, Pastor, tell it.
Ashia Bishop, bless you.
Tell it, Pastor, tell it.
My husband sniffs me. I promise you, it's the weirdest thing.
Cologne. Her perfume. She smells good.
No. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what he does.
Don't make it weird.
No, I'm not making it. It doesn't matter which way you swing the pendulum, Fred. It's weird. But if it floats your boat.
You just made it. Nah, I don't go all up on her arms. That is not what I do.
So, ladies, it's very imperative
It's
that
her
you smell
neck.
good.
Yes, your baby, your neck.
It's very imperative that you smell good 1,000 people. Because you could have a husband like mine that hauls off and sniff you at any given time. I could be talking or having a conversation of conversing with him, and he'll just lean on me and he'll go, oh my gosh. What?
It's not weird.
And then he says, you smell good. And so I thank you. So ladies, it's very imperative that you smell good. It's natural. Okay. Willina Grant said it's natural. Okay. Tanya Hardin said exactly. Let him sniff you past it. Well, he can. He owns me, so that's fine. How y'all doing? It's been a very long day.
Long day.
It's been a very long day, and so we've been traveling.
What's going on, Corey? Corey, we made it.
What's going on?
Love you, man.
Overseer Tanisha Johnson, good to see you. Tamika Fain, so good to see you. How you doing? My kids sniffed me. My son did that to me one time. I almost smacked him off the bed. I didn't know what was going on. Maybe that's a male thing, because I remember when I went to Hunter was a kid.
I think it's even an animalistic thing.
Strange.
Yeah.
So it's the animal instinct in you guys.
Probably.
Well, you're a good-looking beast. What kind of animal you want to be? Your Black Panther? What you wants to be? What you wants to be?
I'll be a Black Panther.
You be my Black Panther.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the deal. We get ready to talk about the Boomerang Effect. It's funny because I didn't even think about Sharon J before I said that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the vein. So we had a very long day, and we are getting ready to talk about,
See, our grandmother passed away.
Sister Hicks, Sharon Hicks, we're praying for you. She said her grandmother just passed, Minister Stefanetta. Let's get her. So we're going to talk to you about the Boomerang Effect, and even though my husband, everybody knows that this is my husband. Someone said my husband does that too. Oh my gosh. So y'all sniffing each other? Really?
You make it sound so weird.
It's not weird, but she just said her husband sniffs her too.
Okay. It's not weird.
Someone said it's not a male thing. I sniff too. Well, y'all better invest in some good body soap and some body sprays, all the sniffing going on. Someone said you preached the pink. Well, bless you. Thank you for that.
Yes, she did.
So here we go. Look at Michelle. Michelle, you supposed to be sleeping. She's supposed to be sleeping. So we get ready to talk about the boomerang effect. And even though this is my husband, and someone said my husband does the same thing. Oh my gosh. Single ladies, y'all better smell good because these men out here sniffing. They out here sniffing and they're sniffing and sniffing these women.
Married. We're married.
We're married. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of just.
This the other. Okay, so let's do okay. Ooh. So a few of your husbands do that. So
Husbands.
by the show of thumbs up.
Negro ain't sniffing no dog on single people. They're trying to ruin your whole throat. Tear up your whole nostril.
So crazy. By the show of thumbs up. How many ladies? Oh, okay. One day. Maybe that's what's wrong. Single ladies, y'all better get you some soap. These Negroes out here sniffing. I promise you, this girl said, even in his sleep, he sniffs. I said sniffs. He sniffs her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So, ooh, look at these thumbs up. So these thumbs up are, Michelle, what you raise your hand for, Michelle? She said, somebody sniff me, please. So these thumbs up are for people who have spouses that sniff them. Okay. We just discovered something tonight. Okay.
Really?
The boomerang effect. We're going to speak about the boomerang effect, and then we're going to take it down because I promise you we are beat. We have been traveling. And so here we are. The boomerang effect. It's been a very trying week for all of us, but I want to bring myself into the equation because I'm the first teacher before I begin to teach anyone else. The week for me was very trying. And so if it's trying for me, Trey, what's going on? Trey, you sniff your wife? And so because if the week was trying for me, it was trying for him. Mm-hmm. And if the week is trying for my husband, then it becomes trying for me. Which means he said to me, I think, was it in the kitchen? We were in the kitchen. We were in the kitchen and he pulled me close. Lydia Martin, God bless you. He pulled me close and he said, listen to me. He grabbed me, like not hard, but he grabbed me by the shoulders and he said, babe, listen to me. He said, I know this week is hard. He said, but we have got to learn that no matter how hard our weeks or our days are, we cannot take it out on each other. And so a lot of times what people do is they take their situations or how they feel out on each other. As wrong as it is, you have mothers who, LaFonya Johnson, I love you, baby. Thank you for the medicine. Hello, England. How are you? Shah Rain. So as much as a mother gets angry, sometimes she'll take it out on the child. You could be angry or upset about something or something didn't go out right. You could take it out on your best friend. You could take it out on anybody that is close to you. Is it fair? No. But I believe sometimes it becomes part of the norm for us to lash out. I thank you for bringing it to my attention. And Fred is very good. I call Fred my soothing agent because he's the only man created to deal with me. And so he said that to me and I looked at him. I said, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of people, they don't understand that you may not even be aware that you're doing this. Correct? Right. Was I aware? I think sometimes.
I think, but I also understood why you did it.
Okay.
See, I was trying to be supportive.
Right.
But the way that I was being supportive, it still wasn't enough. Or I wasn't intimate enough in the support, right? Because I was looking at it one way until you communicated that even if I'm like that, I still need this level of intimacy.
Right.
Right? You know, just to be plain and just because this may even help some people. I have a very strong mother.
Right.
And I've always, because of the anointing on my life, it always draws strong. It was strong women throughout my whole life, even as a boy. So when I saw her aggravation, I saw her agitation, I pulled back, not pulling back to separate disconnect or anything like that. I did it to give her space.
Okay.
But in it, she felt like, man, you're not giving me what I need right now. So
Okay.
I still understood. I understood what happened and why she had the agitation and why she, because she went in and lash out like that. But it was enough for me to know that she felt some type of way. And that's what it, so there's two parts of it. Yes, I understand. Yes, we're together. And yes, we got to make sure that if something happens that we don't beat one another up because of an outside situation. But also we still need to understand why it happened. Because if I didn't understand why it happened, I can't help it for the next time.
I think what happens is when people are at odds, whether it be from the world, and we say this all the time, we're good. It's the other individuals that most of the time with
99.9.
right. A lot of times it's you're good, but it's the people around you that brings it to your door or bring angst to your door. And a lot of times we've got to be very careful. The situation where I was just like, oh my gosh, it's just so much going on. And I was trying to juggle it all. And I think what Fred did is he backpedaled. Not that I was lashing out, but I was just so, And I went to hug him and I just was like, okay, baby. And what he said was, I patted him on the back like this instead of my normal embrace, and he didn't know how to interpret that.
I'm glad you said that.
No, I mean, I'm being honest.
That was good.
And so he didn't know how to interpret that. What he did was he interpreted from maybe situation from his past that if someone embraced him like that during a circumstance or difficult situation, he would have backed off and gave them space because he was used to backing off, giving people their space. You've got to get an understanding. The word of God said, with all thy getting, get an understanding. And then that's when I responded, babe, I don't need the distance. I need your embrace. And he said, this is how I'm used to handling strong women when they need their space. I back off. I'm like, I'm not that. I need you. I need your touch. I need your intimacy. I need you to speak to me because I need that right now. And I don't care what happens. If I'm going like this, it's because I'm trying to process everything that I'm going through and handle what's in front of me now. And so I think a lot of people misinterpret when the pressure is on how to convey their love language because of the pressure.
Yeah.
And so what we have been accustomed to or customized to, back off and give me space.
Yeah. Most cases. In most cases, people won't want that type of space. So so I responded to it like that, but it was the communication is what she was saying. And it was, and what I said to her, I tried to hug her.
Right.
And you got to realize now, my wife is an intellectual like I am. So when we start communicating, everything is communication. Touch is communication. What she speaks is communication. Everything is communication. So when I went to hug her, can I say how I said it?
Sure.
When I went to hug her, she hugged. I say she gave me a church hug.
Right. That's what you did.
And now I knew that was big. I knew what it was because she was angry.
Yeah.
She wasn't angry at me. But she was angry. She was angry really at the devil. Honestly, to be honest,
Right.
she was angry at the devil.
Right.
And she didn't really feel at that moment and to be intimate, no intimate hug. So I get it. So I interpreted that. Hold on, let me back up. And I kind of just let her vent. Because one thing about communication with someone, and this is whether you're a man or a woman, if you're dealing with somebody and they're angry and they're communicating or they're venting, in most cases, if somebody is venting, you let them vent.
Right.
Okay? But it can be misinterpreted by a person that you're not saying nothing, you're not engaging me, so you don't care.
Right.
So it's almost like a double dutch. It's like trying to jump in on a double dutch. You make it in and you might can get the game going, or you can get in and screw everything up.
Right.
So this is what I say to her as we communicate and we grow. I say we're working it out. Don't I say all the time?
All the time.
I said we're learning one another and we're working things out and we'll be better because this is why a lot of people don't make it. It takes years.
Yeah. Right.
It takes years to conform to one another. It takes years to master communications with one another.
Right.
It takes years to know, what this feeling is, what this emotion really is, because we can misinterpret emotions all the time.
I think sometimes what happens is we could program people. And I think that if you program somebody that when you are in a circumstances, whether it be your job, your kids, your health, your finances, you program them when you push them away.
Yeah.
You program them when you shut down and say, I don't want to talk about it. So when they come and they try to give you something, you are so used to pushing people away until you don't become receptive of the reach. Yeah. And so a lot of times it's just like my husband said, he says, I'm so programmed to strong women and they push me away or they don't need that. He's been customizing his thought process that all women want to be this way and we don't. Yeah. Also, I'm going to say this. When a woman says, no, I don't want to be touched, depending on who it is, a lot of times she's saying, I do want to be touched, but right now I need to process what's going on.
Well, hold up. Now.
Wait a minute. What?
Hold up. I got to say this now.
Go ahead.
Well, most women say that they don't want to be touched. Now, if you got yourself a fighter, you ain't finna take no chance and get the block knocked off, right?
No, Fred. No, seriously. Now you know we on social media.
But listen.
No, wait a minute, Fred.
No,
and you know folks always say I'm aggressive and I'm beating them up and all that stuff.
That's not what
that is not.
No, baby. I'm talking about strong women.
Well, who you been with that's been beating you up, Fred?
Ain't nobody beat Fred up.
Okay, well,
Fred ain't got beat up.
Okay, I'm seeing where you trying to go with this guy.
Can I finish?
Okay, please, sir. I'm under enough scrutiny.
What I'm saying is, when a woman says she don't want to be touched, you got to. It's this double touch again. You got to be careful.
What you know about double touch in Lackawanna? Okay, 1 up, 2,
I'm
3,
saying
4, 5.
you got to jump in at the right time. So since you said it like that,
go ahead.
I touch. I don't want to sound nasty.
We married. The bed is undefiled.
I'm saying when you always need to touch. I'm trying to say this in the right way. You need to touch your wife with wisdom.
What you mean, touch me?
Because listen, because now it's like you said, baby. You have to have. When some women say no, they really mean yes. But baby, it's a lot of women when they say no. Guess what they mean? No. They mean no. But that's what I mean.
Okay, so
I mean you don't mean no.
But I'm saying then that was your case because when the circumstances happened and you gave, and I gave you that church hug.
Yeah, you told me right.
It brought you back. No, it brought you back to the woman that might have knocked your block off. But when I
ain't never had my block knocked off.
What a block is was a knock is because
I'm just saying it's been some strong jokers. And these ain't even women and I'm not even talking about women that I was in relationships with. I'm talking about people that I knew. Listen, they got mad, call them jokers back in a couple hours because you ain't finna say nothing to them.
I get it. But you have to babe, you got to vet the circumstances. The circumstances at the time might have caused for them to be aggressive, depending on what it was. For us, it was the kids. And that's what it is. You got to realize that right now, this very moment, you already got 6 feet social distances.
Right.
You got people losing their job. You got people trying to figure it out. You got wives trying to figure it out, husbands trying to figure it out, the kids going crazy. And Dylan said something that was very profound. You got college kids now that are going into depression because not just graduating,
oh my God.
They get out of college and they don't even have a dorm. They don't have they don't have anything.
Don't have anything.
So now you got kids moving back home. So it's a plethora of problems right now.
Yeah.
And it's so sensitive right now. So you're dealing with people who are now on an emotional roller coaster trying to figure it all out. What, Fred? You want to smell me? Is this a
you know what I was going to say?
What?
You remember we had a situation when somebody got mad he just hauled off, and both of us were sitting there in amazement because we didn't see where that came from, and that person was mad. And I'm just saying, like,
he shouldn't have done
but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make my point.
You wrong for
I don't
that.
want you to go past my point like I ain't saying nothing.
Everybody going past your point.
I'm just saying. Then you
But
say,
you know you gonna,
but I'm saying,
if they watch it, you gonna pay for that. You lucky I got your back.
Look at here.
Well, she said don't touch her.
She said don't touch. Did she say she want to be touched?
I think her body.
Did she say she was mad?
Wait a minute.
Did she say, boy, don't you?
Her body movement said not just touch
that was a
her.
ninja slap. I don't even know. Baby, how her body turned?
She went here and brought her on back here.
I ain't never seen somebody got slapped while the feet was still in the front. And the hands swing around ambidextrous style all the way to the back. I don't even know how that was done.
And your facial
Our facial expression.
No, yours. You said, wait, hold on.
We were like, what?
Fred, you said.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying.
Wait, hold on now.
Someone say they mad and they don't want to be bothered.
Wait a minute.
Take their word for it.
Wait a minute. And I just stood there like.
Right.
Yeah, he right on that one.
Cause baby, you had to tell me now. You remember you told me. You said, "But listen, that's how you was programmed." This is what you said to me. You said you may have been programmed like that because of your past.
Yeah.
But you said this is what I like, and then what I said after that, I said, "Baby, I appreciate you. I appreciate you telling me that."
Communication. Oh, you wrong for that.
I'm just had to make my point because I ain't want no. You gonna get somebody the hell knocked out of them. You gonna
get you wrong for that. I guarantee. I'm turning off my phone tonight.
Oh dang!
You wrong for that, Fred.
Look here, I've been counseling 21 years. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you wrong for that, Fred. Okay.
I got 21 years of counseling.
So, the Boomerang Effect.
I can write a book about the stuff I just saw with no names in it. Y'all be like, no, look here.
I can't. The Boomerang.
She can't even get right to it. Go ahead.
No, I really can't. Because you was wrong for that. The Boomerang Effect. Even if you happen to be a mother, a single mother, and you had a bad day, the Boomerang Effect is when you leave a place that was hostile.
That's serious.
Or an environment that's hostile. Or maybe open a letter and it's a bill and you can't afford to pay it. Whatever it is. The Boomerang Effect is what you feel you take it out on the kids. Or you even have some people that they kick their dog.
Yeah. I ain't got no dog. I probably kick my dog.
They kick their dog. And so, no, seriously, it happens all the time. The Boomerang Effect is even if you are walking down the street and someone takes your parking spot, then you become hostile because it's not about the parking spot. It's about the situation that you just left.
Yeah.
That's the Boomerang Effect. The Boomerang Effect is that now I'm going to say this. Now, we laugh a lot because we love to laugh.
Right.
But I remember when in my house growing up, my mother got a lot of beatings. Not even supposed to put your hands on somebody, but my dad.
No man is supposed to put their hands on a woman.
And no woman is supposed to put her hands on a man.
And a man, vice versa.
Right. So what happened is he used to come home and take his aggression out on her. Remember in the 70s? The 70s, you had all of these domestic violence cases. It's still prevalent today. But he would come home and he would just take it out on her because he had a fight with his mistress, Marty. And so when he was fighting with Marty, he came home and he took it out on my mom. And I'm like, yo, she's sitting up here taking us to school, fixing our hair. She's in church. She didn't even do none of those things. This is a good one. Sometimes the Boomerang Effect could be that you're going through stuff in your mind.
Amen.
And you're taking your insecurities out of someone else. The Boomerang Effect is so dangerous because you never see it coming. You don't know why. You never see it coming. And it hurts and strikes you so fast until you stand there like, what happened? What did I do? I didn't do anything. And it causes a lot of heartache because people don't know what they did.
And sometimes, I'll say this: something can happen that you still feel it years from now.
Yeah.
I mean, from childhood,
Yeah.
almost from years. So it's really serious that when something is happening, that you process what's happening first before you go and communicate. Well, I will say in the case with me, it wasn't time.
Right.
Because the frustration was so high till the person only reacted off of frustration. But it's still something that I live with. I've forgiven, but the thought, the moment, because me and my wife was talking about the same situation dealing with strong women. I brought it back up, and it just came out, and it was crazy the way that it came out because I didn't even know that I still had it in my processing. But it came right out and it said, oh, well, this is one of the reasons why you're like this. Because one of the reasons was I don't want to become a victim of something that I don't really have anything to do with. Let me just stay back here until the person is right. And then I go back in there. So,
I mean, I think when you deal with a person, I think one of the most cruel things a person could do to another person is to be angry at them, and there's not even a just cause or a reason. I think it's very tormenting that you share a space with someone that shuts down and get mad, and you don't even know what you did wrong.
Talk about that, yeah.
It's very tormenting. Like, I used to see my dad used to do that to my mother. I remember one time he was beating her, and she said, James, if you're going to beat me, could you not beat me in front of the kids? And she didn't do anything, and I was like, well, what dang, nigga, she been here walking the dog and taking care of us. What is you just don't understand. How does a person, thank you, it causes trauma.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It causes trauma when you take your emotions unhealthy, when you take it out on people who are innocent that hasn't done anything to you, it causes them trauma. And there is where hurt people. It is wrong. It is insensitive. It's almost like it actually is psychotic.
It really is.
It is. It's psychotic.
Yeah.
It's pathological. It's sinister. It's sadistic. And when you could hurt people because you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
You could take it out on somebody because you lost a job.
But we say it because we say, I lost my mind. We actually say when we do stuff, they'll say something, we actually say, and that's actually what it is. You lost your mind for a moment, but what you've done, you can't get back. And that's the one thing, like I say, and you'll hear this a lot. Me and my wife being divorcees have learned a lot from our past.
Yeah.
Now, we're still learning a lot about the depthness. Like, I know everything about this woman, but there's wells in me. There's wells in her. There's things that we ain't talked about. You know why? Because it ain't came up.
Right.
And as those things come out, we learn to communicate so that we don't become a victim of our own past because we don't know that we're still affected by these things. And again, that is what you call a boomerang effect.
Right.
Something happened. It came back. I didn't know how to handle it. So I handled it the way I thought I was supposed to handle it. And then my wife said, well, no, I don't want you to handle it like this. I need you to handle it like that. I was good after that.
Right.
You understand? I was still good after that, but
Right.
I needed her to say it. And some of you are not saying what you mean.
Right. One Minister Stephanie went into the timeline, and she said it's misplaced anger.
Yeah.
And it is. I think another young
Definitely.
lady went up the timeline, and she said, how do you avoid this? Well, this is how you avoid it. You listen for the warning signs. You hear for the warning signs. A lot of times when people are having a bad day or whatever it is, if they call you, you could hear it in their tone. You know something is about to go down because you could hear it in their tone. If they come inside of your space and you could feel the atmosphere shift. You could feel the tension in the air. It's very true where you feel the tension in the air. You could feel the tension. You could hear it. They may come in and a door may slam. They may come in and you could hear them rattling around downstairs, or you could hear them having a confrontation with someone else and it has nothing to do with you. You know what you do? Get out of the way.
Yeah.
You get out of the way and you give them an opportunity to get their headspace together if they can control their emotions.
Yeah.
But if they cannot, and if it's an abusive situation, then you've got to do what you've got to do to protect yourself. That's right. Fessy said it. She said, Fetish said it. Watch the pattern.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people cannot control their emotions, it is an emotional roller coaster, but it is also a pattern that you can follow.
Yeah.
Those patterns are very real. That energy shifting, it's very real.
Yeah.
You can hear it. Yeah, you can hear it. You can feel it in their walk.
You can hear it. You can feel it. And one thing that me and her both have become really good at is when stuff shifts around us, we feel it. You know, when one of us, and in most cases it's not our agitation. It's just situation is happening, and we just have to, and we just really holding it together.
Right.
You know, it's like being on a boat and you holding it together till you get to the other side. And sometimes what you got to do, I do want to say this to men. Men, we got to be careful not to shut down, because you can become, one thing I've seen with men in my life, you know, I saw it a lot, that you just shut down and go somewhere. That ain't always good, because sometimes you're needed. You're needed by your wife or by your significant other, your fiance, to help process them through it. But instead of you helping them process it through it, you kind of gonna get out the way. Why? Because you don't want to become, you don't want to become a part of the problem, and it happens. But I will say to some of you men that for some women, they, and I can take that from the lesson that I learned from my wife. She might, he don't care. Because what she said was, man, I kind of felt like you ain't care.
Right.
That's not what it was, And so learn from that.
Right.
Sometimes the wife or your fiance, or that person that you're really looking to become fiance and wife, you're going to go through some stuff. And if they feel like, dang, you can hang with me while it's all going good, but as soon as I get some problems, you want to go jump, I'll say go jump on my motorcycle, but I won't do that. I go jump, but I like to ride. Right. But you go jump, you go get in your car, jump on your motorcycle, you just whatever. Don't do that, because then what it creates boundaries, and it creates a miscommunication. And honestly, you could be trying not to start something, but guess what just happened? Something just got started.
Right. One young lady went into timeline and she said that what she does is she locks her and her child in a room.
Whoa. That's what
she said. She said when this happens in her relationships, she locks her and her child in a room. One girl said she suffers from anxiety because of this. Another young lady, and see, these are all traumatic. These are post-traumatic stress disorders that happen because of traumatic situations. When there is trauma, you shut down. Trauma causes blockage. Trauma avoids you from seeing reality. Trauma has misplaced anger. Trauma has mood disorders. Anything traumatic in your life causes your healthy emotions to shut down. And you don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
You don't want it to happen. So what you have to do is you have to make a conscious decision. How valuable is your peace? I say it's worth you fighting for. And so what you've got to do is you've got to find yourself in a place of saying, I've got to do something, because what I'm doing is when I lock myself up in a room with my daughter, I'm training her. This is how you handle unhealthy situations, and it's okay to stay in it as long as you do this.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm telling you the truth. You're on our page. This is Coupling with Fred and Jameliah. So I'm telling you the truth. When you lock yourself in a room, what you're saying to her is, yes, stay in it. as long as you do this.
Yeah, as long as you don't bother me.
No, as long as you do this. This means as long as you become me, as long as you lock yourself up in a room, as long as you live on eggshells, as long as you keep yourself safe for a little bit until this happens again.
Yeah.
Then you're teaching her a pattern of acceptance that it's okay, and it's not.
It's not.
How do you learn what your mom went through? You don't want the same. Well, I'm going to answer your question. I learned a lot from my mother, and I learned a lot from my dad. And marriage is a collision of two histories, and so through the two histories, I've learned a lot. In my life, what I've discovered is I've learned that I did not want to be my mother. That if I found myself in anything unhealthy, then I was going to fight. And so what I did is I didn't mirror my mother. I didn't mirror my dad. But what I did is said, I'm not going to be my mother. So I became a fighter. So if you were disrespectful, you had a problem on your hand. God forbid, you better lift your finger up to eat your food, hug me, or take a piss. But if you lift your hand up in any other way, we're going to have a problem. So what happens is my protection mode, my senses became heightened. I cannot deal with disrespect. I cannot deal with abuse. I can't deal with anything cantankerous because I have been programmed because of what I learned when I see it. Fight or flight.
Right.
You become fight or flight. And so I said, I am not going to be abused. So in relationships, they did not work well until now because I could not handle a mean man. I could not handle verbal abuse. I could not handle any type of abuse. I had zero tolerance for it. And if you tried it, then guess what? I'm not my mother. We gonna fight you back. I'm not going to stand there and let you call me bees, spit in my face, punch me in the face, and I'm going to say it's okay because I want a man or I need a man. That's not going to work with me. There is not a shortage in my book. It's a shortage now because she's the only man I want in my life. However, what I'm saying before Fred, I am saying I did not tolerate it. And so what happens is you got a chance to fight or flight. But God showed me something. He taught me love. So it was easy to identify when he came around. It wasn't that I accepted it. I did not have it. So there was nothing to identify until now. Got it? All right.
That's good, right?
One more thing. Someone said, Laura Renee said, listen, we're going to read one more comment and then we're going to get up out of here. She says, because I was abused, I was with this experience of my parents. Okay, someone just said because she had an abusive mother, you became abusive too. Well, here's the thing. I think sometimes when you deal with people who have witnessed any type of abuse, you've got to understand that you don't have to throw a fist to be in an abusive situation. Living with a person who has narcissistic personality disorder, living with a person that has severe OCD, living with a person that has post-traumatic stress disorder, living with a person that has bipolar disorder. There are all type of disorders. Now, I said this the other day to someone that I was having a conversation with or conversing with. You guys are adults. I hope so. You're in relationships. Maybe some of you are. Maybe some of you are not. But I can guarantee you with almost 2,000 people on here, you've experienced some sort of relationship. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you was in a relationship. Do you know the history of the person you're with? Do you know the person that you're with? Have they ever had an IEP? What is their history? Do they suffer from post-traumatic disorder? Do they suffer from bipolar? Were they ever on Ritalin? Were they ever on, Zola? Were they ever on any type of medication? You don't know. Because those same children that was in special ed, I'm not knocking anybody that had an IEP. Those same individuals that was going to the resource room, those same individuals that was on Ritalin, Prozac, whatever it was, Ritalin as a child, they're now adults. Those same individuals that grew up in a household with alcoholics, domestic violence, drug addiction of any sort, mood disorders. Let me tell you something. I know this one girl, she was beautiful. She was severe OCD. Severe OCD. Could not keep a man because of severe OCD. Someone said, it's heavy. This is heavy. It's true. And so you're now having a relationship with these individuals. And you're saying, well, what is wrong? How come this didn't work? No, I told you from the door. Listen, if you become abusive in any way, shape, or form, you got to go. Because I can't deal with it because of my childhood. It's not going to end well. So God sent me a husband who's very meek. I promise you, in 49 years, I have never met a man like my husband. His patience is off this chart. But the wonderful thing is I understood his childhood.
Yeah.
He understood my childhood. And we love each other to give each other what we need.
Yeah.
What happens to people that are in relationships with you and they don't know what it is to give you anything? Do you know some of the hardest relationships to have is with a child as a single child growing up? Now you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth because you're on our page. The hardest relationship sometime is to be in a relationship with someone that has no siblings. No siblings at all. They have no brother, no sister. They're the only child. You know why? Because they don't know what it is to share.
Spoil riding.
Yeah, you could say it's selfish. Someone said, preach. You could say it's selfish, but to them, that's not selfish.
Yeah.
I never had to share my toys.
Yeah, that's normal.
Right, that's normal for them. And so now you're trying to be in a relationship with someone that don't know anything about sharing. Mm-mm. So now you're like, someone said, come on here, woman of God, that blessed me. So now you're in a relationship with someone that has to share. Share.
Yeah.
I don't know about no sharing. So now you're like, it's something wrong with you because I have brothers and sisters and what you got to do is you got to love them enough. Someone said, woo, love them enough to get an understanding. The understanding is I understand that you never had to share anything. But we have to get an understanding.
Yeah.
If you love me, you've got to learn to share your space. If you want to be alone, you got to give me that understanding because I want to share my world with you. Relationships are for the mature people.
That's a quote. And this is it. We love y'all.
You want
thank God.
He want to share now.
But I don't want to share no more.
Wait a minute. Someone just said mental abuse. Mental abuse, gaslighting. We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
Gaslighting. Gaslighting. I want everybody who's on here, 2,000 people.
Define that, baby, again.
Gaslighting in a relationship or gaslighting people. We all know that now. Please go vote. Gaslighting is when you become so manipulative and so narcissistic until you believe your own lies and get mad at someone else that they don't believe it. Watch this. It means that you could say, I'm make up the bed. I'm gonna just give you something simple so we could all get an understanding what gaslighting is. You could make up the bed and you could walk away. You could mess it up, right? And someone who gaslights you will come in and say, I made up the bed. You messed it up. And you're like, but wait a minute. I messed up the bed and I just made it up. And then they'll say, no, I made it up. You messed it up. And they'll keep flipping your words and turning it around until you don't know what to believe.
Right.
It's a master manipulator. They have master manipulative personality disorder until they believe their own lies and they get mad at you. And even though, like right now, my glasses are in my hand, a gaslighter will say, those glasses aren't in your hand. And you're like, but yes, they are. They'll say, no, they're not. And you're like, but yes, they are. And then you'll walk away and they'll pick it up and say, but they're in my hand. And so they play these mind games with you. And all of a sudden what happens is you become hostile because you know it's the truth. Someone said, come on now. Because you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. And I'm like, no, but the glasses in my hand. They go, no, they're not. Now I ain't gonna repeat that. Someone said, my sister-in-law. Someone said, my wife just did that to me tonight. Oh, Lord Jesus. He said his wife just did that to him tonight. Yes, they play mind games. You become a victim to a gaslighter, and they get their rocks off, getting you to go crazy.
Yeah.
They like it.
Until you go crazy.
They'll keep doing this to you until you go crazy. For instance, cheaters love to gaslight because you'll say, you cheat on me. And then you'll be like, no, I'm not. But they're the ones doing the cheating. They cheat on everything. They're the ones doing the cheating. And they'll come to you. You've been in front of your computer working all day. And they'll come to you and say, you cheated on me. And you'll say, what? No, I'm not. I've been working at the computer. Yes, you are. You cheating on me. No, I'm really not. I've been in the computer. You've been on Facebook cheating on me. No, I'm working on a report. But why'd you log off? But I've been in front of this computer for 9 hours working. But you cheating on me. And you'll be going, no, I'm not cheating. They'll be going, yes, you are. I'm not cheating on you. I'm not. And they will have you going crazy because they will make you believe something that's not real. It's called gaslighting. Google it.
Wow.
Someone said amazing. It's reverse psychology. It's crazy. It's demonic. My dad was a master manipulator. He was a master at gaslighting. He would come in and beat my mother, and he was the one cheating. And she would just be like, and then they'd make you second guess yourself. You'd be like, well, maybe I did go to the store. Well, maybe I did. And it's demonic.
Y'all need to stop going up line telling about these certain people who they is that do that.
No, listen. It is
they
what
coming
it
on
is.
the line there. They say this my friend do that. My husband do that.
Let me tell you something. If you know somebody,
just don't let them run you crazy.
But that's the goal. The goal is to make you go crazy.
That's the goal.
To believe their lies, and you know it's the truth.
Yeah.
And you know, I know what I did. I know I put it there, and they said, no, you didn't. With a straight face, you didn't. And you be like, well, maybe I do need help. You do need help. You be like, nah, I don't need no help. You the crazy one. People, watch this. I'm gonna say this one more time, and I'm gonna get out of here. Crazy people are allowed to be in relationships too.
Ooh.
Some of y'all just married them. Free at last. Time to go. Free at last.
We love y'all.
Yeah. Ooh, someone said, Pastor, you on fire tonight. I went through this over 10 years ago. I'm glad you free, Roxanne. You guys have to please. Someone said, my wife been doing me like that for over 20 years. So if she's been, good God, today. Well, I'm going to say this, 2,000 people on the side of my voice. If your wife had been doing that to you, now I'm going to say this to you. If your wife had been doing that to you for 20 years, you have the problem, not her. 20 years is a very long time to be going through emotional abuse and being victimized.
Yeah.
You have a problem because at some point you've got to knock the hamster off the wheel and say, if you can acknowledge this is wrong, then you can acknowledge that this is wrong for you.
Yeah.
If you can acknowledge that this is wrong, then when possibly are you going to acknowledge that this is wrong for you? The problem is you've been so used to it until her victimizing you has become normal behavior that you have now accepted for 20 years. And for 20 years, what she is saying is, I am not going to change. Accept me the way I am. And if you got 20 years in, you already told her, she don't have to change. She don't have to be accountable. And you're going to love her just the way she is. And you're not worthy of her even remotely changing 1 iota of a minute because you have programmed her. I like the way I'm being treated. I love you. I got to tell you the truth. But it don't change till you change it. I am going to ask you, please go get counseling. Please go get counseling. You have received trauma. You accepted trauma. You've invited it into your life. And it is not going to leave until you get to the place where you've had.
I want to say this one thing to the gentleman. You have to know that you are worth or you're worthy of experiencing freedom. Mm-hmm. You're worthy of experiencing a good relationship.
Yeah.
Because if you've been doing that for that long, it means that it has become a part of you.
Right.
you think you know the effect of it, but you really don't know the effect of something until you've come out of it.
Right.
So this is for you that said it. We don't know how serious or what level, but I will say you're worth freedom.
Yeah.
We're not telling you to divorce, but you're worth making sure that this thing gets fixed.
Right.
Some type of way.
But I also want you I need you to sit down and think about your fears.
Yeah.
Because your fears will keep you hostage.
Yeah.
The fear of maybe nobody will ever love you again. That's a fear.
That's a great fear.
Yeah. The fear is a lie. Because you know it, the devil is a liar. Yeah. Anytime if you feel like nobody else will ever love you again, get out there and find out.
Yeah.
Especially if they're abusive. Get out there and find out. Now, I ain't saying when you're married. I'm talking about when you get through this rigmarole. What is your fears? What fear holds you hostage? And so, thank you for that. Fear will hold you hostage. If you've been dealing with this for 20 years, the fear says stay. And when you find out what the fear is, you will find out stay because of what?
Right.
Once you reveal what the fear is, you'll see what is holding you hostage. And you're staying because of what? Identify what the fear is. And whatever that fear is, that's the challenge you bring before the counselor, saying, I won't leave because, or I'm allowing somebody to be manipulative because. Whatever the scar is, you've got to not mask it, not cover it up. You've got to heal it with the truth. I love you guys, and we got to go. We got to go. I'm going to get in the inbox to the young man that said that. Actually, Fred is going to do that. I love you guys so much. My husband and I, we thank God for you, and I'll be doing Car Chronicles tomorrow morning. Take one more sniff, baby. All right.
Good night, y'all. She sniffing me now. Y'all see her? Bye.